What's the most common question you're asked?
By my clients or by?
In general, you tell people what you're doing.
Usually it's about spirituality. Lately it's been about spirit. It used to be like, how do you get arms like that? And now it's like, how are you so happy all the time?
Mm.
And I love that.
What do
Yeah,
you tell them?
because I trust and I love the wonder and magic of the universe. Yeah.
Do you tell them meditation and then?
Yeah, I tell them meditate. I mean, I do meditate frequently, but I think that's part of it. I think it's perspective. One of Albert Einstein's, one of my favorite quotes by him is, "Do you believe you live in a friendly or a hostile
Yeah.
universe?"
Yeah.
And I believe I live in a friendly universe. Even if hostile things happen to me, it's a lesson. It's here to teach me and help me grow and evolve. It's my school at that moment. And so I think it's a matter of perspective.
Definitely. I keep reminding myself, and I hate that I have to put it it's on a post-it, but a friend of a lot of ours who passed away a month ago, 2 months, whatever. But her thing was, the future's friendly. Remind people that I always said the future's friendly.
Oh, I
And
love
I love
that.
that. Isn't that great? And I was like, yeah, the future is friendly. So yeah, I definitely love that too.
Oh,
So for somebody who's struggling, they know they're here for a purpose and they're just not taking that leap, what would you tell them?
that's so
Because
good.
you took it. You did it. I mean, you were this famous bodybuilder, and look how happy you are that you did it. What would you tell someone?
I would say follow your heart instead of your head. And my biggest thing is follow the good feeling. When I was bodybuilding, it didn't feel good anymore. What felt good to me is nature, exploring with psychedelics, moving to Colorado. My sister was there. And so for me, those were the things that felt good to me. And I didn't know where I was going to end up. I didn't even know yoga was going to be waiting for me there. But I followed the good feeling to leave and go for it. And even with Conscious Champion, following the good, like for me to be an online coach and even now to leap with the kids instead of working with adults, I would say follow the good feeling. And the word purpose and even passion can feel very like judgmental or daunting almost, because there's like big stuff attached to it. But I would say like try on stuff like you're shopping, like you're trying on clothes, because some things, affected shirts will fit you perfectly, but you don't know if you don't try.
Yeah. I also, what you said before about trust, like that's how you're this happy, is the trust.
Trust.
And how your intuition, your inner guidance, how do you listen to that? I saw you just closed your eyes and took a moment before you answered the last question. I would think the pause seems to be one of your ways, is what I'm noticing.
Yeah. I could get better at the pause because my
Yeah.
energy is very excited and I
Yeah.
can't wait to answer and talk. Yeah. So I think it is definitely pausing and listening, like feeling for where it's coming from. Is this coming from an ego spot where I think this is what people want to hear from me? Or is this coming from something that's true and like a lived, felt wisdom experience that I've had? And then also learning when I didn't listen to my intuition and I kind of got slapped around a little bit.
Yeah. I was listening to something. I don't remember when you said this. It might be from your very first podcast episode. You said you went through yoga teacher training. You were super lost, confused, and so much pain. You didn't know who you were or what to do. And that yoga gave you a path to walk, which I thought was so beautiful. And it reignited a light and a spiritual connection in you.
Yeah.
And it's been 2.5 years since you said that. And I thought that was really interesting. And so that's 2.5 years ago. Are you still on that path and further in?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say all of that still rings true. I was like, did I say that today? Because that's still very, very true and real for me. And I teach yoga now a couple days a week over here. I live on Cape Cod and I love it. And I study, like what I do in my free time is I study the Bhagavad Gita, which is the,
Mhm.
Hindu epic that they wrote for the Veda. Like I study Vedic stuff in my free time. So like, and I just got a tattoo that's Sanskrit. I am obsessed. What yoga did for me is it also opened up a door to this ancient wisdom. And when I teach, not only do I get to geek out, I love the mantras. I listen to them in my car. Like when I'm not doing yoga, this is what I listen to normally. And so it's opened up a path for me. And when I'm teaching, it's almost like I'm orchestrating the energy. I talk about the different, Hindu gods and goddesses, like Hanuman is like a big deal for me right now. And so during that, we'll have different poses. I tell different stories. We have different chants and different music that I listen to, that I play. And so for me, it's also kept me really sharp. It's kept me because I know how I show up leading online courses and in person, I'm a certain vibration. So how I show up to that class is what everybody's going to be experiencing.
Right.
So it
Definitely.
really helps me stay and want to stay pure as I can. I mess up here and there. I'm a human, right? We do different things, but it keeps me sharp.
Yeah. No, staying focused and staying there is important. So what's the hardest challenge that you've overcome, and how did you do it?
Identity.
Oh.
Identity has been a big challenge for me. So after I left bodybuilding, that was the first one where I was like, bam, like, who are you without Little Monster, without eating meat all day? Who is this person? And so then I got dreadlocks because I was like, I want to be earthy, crunchy, like bring it all. So I had these big, long blonde dreads and I loved them, and they were almost like a shield for me. They helped
Mm.
me go into that next phase of spirituality. They looked spiritual, they felt spiritual, and it helped me make that transition. And then another identity thing happened. I moved up here to Cape Cod over COVID. My parents live up here and stuff like that. So my husband and I, we moved, stayed in one of their cottages, and we're just, saving money, being close just in case shit went down. My dreads were getting really itchy. I was sleeping on ropes. They look really cool in pictures, but to live with them every single day, they're hot, they're heavy, they're itchy. It's a whole thing. And so I heard myself say one day, I was like, why am I keeping these? Why do I have these dreadlocks on my head? And I heard myself say, because you won't look spiritual without them. And I was like, damn it. Because my ego was big in that, but I don't know if I was ready to hear it until that moment. I think I knew that the whole time, but I don't. So the next day I went and shaved my head. So what you see now is I was totally buzzed Sinead Lohan style. That was a tough one for me too, because I'm a female, no hair, just shaved off everything I knew, like all, and when you have dreadlocks, everything's in the dreads, your bodybuilding journey, all the years, everything is in the hair that's in your head. And so that's what people with dreads think about too. And so it felt very much like a clean slate. And I find that the biggest way to get to know who you are is to strip away everything that you think you are. The clothes, the job, the hair, the makeup, the identity, what you do for work.
That's huge. That's huge.